This video is sponsored by Squarespace.
Here we go, Evie. Are you ready to Plunderstorm?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hey, Four Candles, are you ready to Plunderstorm?
I'm ready.
Hot Forsaken Lady, are you ready to Plunderstorm?
I am ready to serve.
Everyone, are you ready to Plunderstorm?
Yeah!
I'm ready.
Oh
no.
Let's go, team. It's plundering time.
Oh, hey, Dorcanestra. This is a little bit awkward, but you're not actually invited.
What do you mean? I'm a WoW race.
Yeah.
A really cool WoW
Oh,
race.
so cool.
And all the other races are invited.
Yeah.
Yeah, even allied races. It's awesome.
And sad.
Yeah, so sad.
But that's the rules.
Honestly, it's not even that fun. You're not even missing out.
Oh, okay, great. Do you want to go run a dungeon instead then?
No, absolutely not. It's plundering time. I mean, I should probably grind some more Renown because the pirate set is so good.
And it is limited time.
Yeah, I'd hate to miss out.
Like me.
Oh, like you, yeah.
Nice one, Evie.
Maybe next time.
But probably not.
No. Is it wrong that I like the game even more because he's not allowed?
Knowledge is power.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here. Welcome to another episode of the weekly reset, Taliesin and Evitel's wondrous wisdom show. In a week where we are talking Plunderstorm, the secret patch, and should it have been a secret? And is it good? And is it WoW? And is it good for WoW? There are many people that love Plunderstorm, and there are many people who think it is objectively the worst patch ever in the history of WoW. And the question is, which side are you on? And there's only one way to find out: the trial of Plunderstorm. In this episode, we're going to be looking at each side in a neutral and unbiased way. Something we can do because we have so much time to spare since we didn't get invited to take part in the Creator Royale, featuring, and I quote, 60 of your favorite creators. And that's fine, okay? I want you to know it's absolutely fine that we didn't get invited, and it's absolutely fine that we aren't even 2 of your 60 favorite creators. We aren't sad about that. Don't write on the internet that we're sad about that, because we're not, and it's fine. I just guess when Blizzard asked you who your 60 favorite creators were, you just had us placed at 61, which is absolutely fine. That's great. Thanks for having us at 61. And anyway, I'm not sure we could have made that day, whatever day it is, plunder. So the secret 10.2.6 patch, the one with the enticing pirate flag logo and nothing else, the one that Holly announced would remain a total secret so that all players could discover it together, inspired by Season of Discovery's lack of info, and which developers teased on social media for months about how exciting and different and awesome it was revealed during the NA Realm downtime a few hours before it went live as Plunderstorm, a 60-player battle royale mode taking place on the Arathi Highlands Warfront map. The limited time event is accessed through the retail character select screen, but is separate from that game. You will create a new character to take part, and the abilities you gain throughout the match and use against your opponents are unique to Plunderstorm. There are no classes or specs, everything is universal. You collect abilities by looting chests on the map, killing NPCs, and of course, other players. You level up from 1 to 10 by collecting plunder, and that plunder is also a direct one-to-one currency to advance your overall reputation on the Plunderstorm Battle Pass. Renown tree, which has 40 levels, rewarding transmog, pets, traders, tender, and mounts. The transmog and weapons can be displayed on your Plunderstorm character in-game, but these rewards are really for the retail characters. Renown 38 will see you complete the Plunderlord Pirate set, 39 will bag you the Polly Roger Dragon Riding Parrot mount. So this was it, the long-awaited secret pirate patch, massively teased, massively anticipated, turned out to be a PvP battle royale. And I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there expecting a good, old-fashioned Taliesin and Evitel shit show section right about now. Like, oh, the forums loved it unanimously. Everyone was happy. No, it was a shit show, obviously. And yeah, obviously, we could have hilarious shit shows for days off the back of Plunderstorm. Are you effing kidding me? What the fuck is this? Who asked for this? Who thought this was a good idea? Hate everything about this. I don't want to play in any way, shape, or form. But what I really want to look at is, I'm pretty sure Blizzard is just trying to kill WoW. Wow, this is stupid. And what a giant waste of development time. PvP, so most players won't care. Awesome. This has to be the worst patch of all time. Yeah, sorry, but what I really want to look at today, my expectations were rock bottom and I'm still disappointed. Words can't express my disappointment in this travesty of a patch/content. Wow, I have never cared less about something in WoW. Yeah, it's fair to say that a lot of people are not happy that this was the big secret, but I don't want to dismiss those complaints in a mere shit show segment. I don't want people to feel like I'm ignoring them or am unsympathetic to them by picking out the hilariously intense ones and saying them in a funny voice, although that is fun. Because the truth is, I happen to absolutely share some of these complaints and criticisms. But at the same time, I think it's important to understand that there's a huge amount of positive reaction to Plunderstorm from the community too. And the truth is, I happen to share a lot of this positive reaction too. Basically, this is the most split I've seen in the community on anything since we started this show, like 7 years ago. Let the trial of Plunderstorm commence. Charge 1. Did this have to be kept a secret? I think one of the driving forces behind the, at times, desperately negative reaction on the one hand was fueled by the way the patch was kept a secret. When you aren't told anything about it, because to quote Holly Longdale, we like the idea of releasing content that has some surprises and isn't data mined or revealed in advance. We also like to see the joy the community gets out of uncovering it all together as they jump into play. I think that gave the impression that there would be an element of discovery to the content, like Season of Discovery, changes to the game world to find, some mysterious thing to uncover, some story to reveal. That seems like the most obvious reason for keeping a patch completely secret, and I think it's reasonable that players thought that that was going to be coming. In reality, there was nothing to be added to the experience of Plunderstorm by not knowing about it in advance. Something Blizzard proved because they were happy to reveal it in its entirety during maintenance before it went live. The secrecy wasn't to avoid spoiling anything in the patch, it really was just to edge the community, to build hype and excitement, and that's fine, but I think it backfired in this case because Plunderstorm is so different to what anyone could have expected. So on this charge, I find Plunderstorm guilty. Oh, I am a huge fan of patch content being kept a secret when knowing about it in advance could spoil the content, but that ain't Plunderstorm. I genuinely think that revealing what it was well in advance would have resulted in a much better community reaction to it overall. Charge 2. This isn't actually WoW, and it shouldn't be called a WoW update. So here's the thing. You enter Plunderstorm via the retail character select screen, but that's instead of entering retail WoW. Plunderstorm exists in its own pocket dimension. It's completely standalone, with completely different mechanics and gameplay to WoW. To all intents and purposes, it is like the original Dota, a mod that someone made using WoW assets, but which is a completely different game. And yeah, in this case, those people that made it were WoW devs, but I honestly think it's a fair point to bring up. This is a different game. And yes, the rewards that you earn in Plunderstorm are given to you in retail and classic, but then so does Hearthstone right now. That's not WoW either. And to be clear, obviously there are a million different ways of playing WoW. That's one of the brilliant things about it. Arenas are a completely different game to raids. Pet battles are their own unique thing, as is Trial of Style. But crucially, all of those gameplay modes are accessed in the game world of WoW by your character, and it's your character that partakes in them. It feels really weird to log into Dragonflight and be greeted by a splash screen which is literally saying, hey, you should log out of this game and go play a different game instead. So on this charge, I find Plunderstorm guilty. I think it's perfectly reasonable for players to complain that this isn't a real retail WoW update. But I think it's also important to point out that, as the judge in this case, I actually think that's okay. precisely because this patch was marketed as 10.2.6, a whole new bonus patch, rather than the established 10.2.5 or 2.7 patches. If Plunderstorm was 10.2.7, I think that would actually be a little bit off, you know, and it actually would be worthy of a lot more discussion, but it's not, and Blizzard made the right call in making it a new patch outside of the expected schedule. Having said that, it may not have replaced a standard Dragonflight update, but it has pushed it back, hasn't it? If reports are to be believed from some of the 60 more favourite WoW creators who know more about this thing than we do because they're so much more favourite than us, not that we're salty though, please don't write on the internet that we're salty because we're not, then this event will last 6 weeks, and only then will we get Season 4, and presumably 8 or more weeks after that, we will get 10.2.7. So yeah, I can understand that criticism is what I'm saying, even if I don't think it's the biggest deal this time. Come back and ask me if it happens again. Charge 3. It's PvP, so it's not even for most of the player base. There's no two ways around it. A battle royale is a PvP event. Plunderstorm is a PvP game. Most of the community doesn't PvP, so most of the community aren't the target audience for this patch, which Blizz made a big deal of being for all players. Guilty. Easy. Well, yes. Firstly, yes, that is obviously true, but I think there is a bit more nuance to it than that. Just gonna put this hammer down, sorry. Firstly, yes, Plunderstorm is PvP, but it's not WoW PvP. It's a completely different game that just uses WoW assets, like we said. And it's not like arenas or even battlegrounds either, where you are toe-to-toe with other players in a mad fight to the death, because that's not quite how battle royales work, is it? If you've played PUBG or Fortnite or Plunderstorm, then you know that 99% of a match is essentially a scavenger hunt, scouring the map for items and upgrades from chests hidden in buildings and corners and caves, killing NPCs to level up, and in Plunderstorm's case, collecting plunder to advance in the Renown tree. And I am not saying that you can choose to play Plunderstorm as a PvE game, but you kind of can. Or at the very least, like one of those multiplayer horror games like Dead by Daylight, with you as one of the survivors, running or stealthing or bushing around, trying to avoid anyone who might attack you while you get all the plunder you can before you eventually die and go again. And you might be thinking, Taliesin, that is absolute dog shit. When someone on stream told me that it was dog shit, my own chat, seriously. To prove a point, I made my next game a pure PvE run where I did not attack other players at all, and I came second with over 800 plunder. Now I am Renown 40 in this game. I have collected every single reward on that battle pass, Renown tree, without winning a single match. And you know what? I had a lot of fun. Honestly, if you want to make this game about avoiding PvP, then not only can you, I'd argue it's actually the most efficient way of getting Renown ranks. So yes, guilty, obviously, but it's one of those charges where if you really want those rewards and you really don't want to PvP, try it. Make that your whole aim, and you might find you enjoy it more than you thought. Or maybe not. You might still hate it. And that brings us to Charge 4. I have to take part in some bullshit thing I don't want to play because it's a limited time event with incredible reward, and that's some FOMO bullshit right there. Okay, I probably could have worded that charge a little more efficiently, but you get the idea. What if you tried playing Plunderstorm and genuinely don't enjoy it, and now you feel terrible that you're going to miss out on these pretty cool rewards? Yeah, that's going to suck for sure, and that definitely is happening for a lot of players, and people aren't necessarily angry about that. I think by far the most common reaction among the player base to this game mode has been, oh cool, that looks great, the devs have done an amazing job, massive congratulations, I'm glad it exists and it's super fun, but it's not for me. And the FOMO of these rewards is going to force a lot of players into the game mode, and some will enjoy it more than they thought, like me. It's going to make a lot of players not feel good. Plunderstorm is guilty of this, but I have to say that my own opinion of this is that I'm glad it's a limited time event. Hear me out, okay? I really enjoyed my time playing the game. I'm probably just about done with it now I'm level 40. It's not like I need to practice for the Creator Royale or anything, is it? Not that I'm devastated or anything. Don't write on the internet that I'm devastated, okay? Because I'm not. I'm fine. I like Plunderstorm a lot, but I don't want WoW to be this. I've enjoyed Plunderstorm like I've been enjoying other games that aren't WoW, like Helldivers 2 and Baldur's Gate 3 and FIFA. I play a lot of FIFA in my downtime, it's tragic. And that's what Plunderstorm is to me, but I'm always going to prefer new content and updates in WoW because that's my 20-year and counting game. We're definitely going to get more seasons of Plunder, probably utilizing the Recolors of the pirate set that have been data mined. And I will look forward to those when they happen, especially if they change maps and variety, but I don't really want it to be a real and permanent part of WoW, even if I really enjoy it when it's there. Does that make sense? I really hope I've explained that in a way that I mean. So yeah, guilty, but I don't know, maybe that's good? I know that's easy for me to say when I've got all the rewards. I know that. Final verdict time, and you may have noticed that I found Plunderstorm guilty on all counts, which you might think is pretty damning, and I mean, I guess it is. I genuinely sympathize with every one of those complaints and do not disagree with them, and yet, the thing is, I really like Plunderstorm.
Hello everyone! Or should I say, ahoy mateys! Piratical things are afoot, and I'm very happy to share that Squarespace are sponsoring this video. I'm not talking about piracy of the internet flavor because I know you and you would never go there, right? I'm talking about the pirate patch that's been plotted pretty precariously but presented with aplomb over in WoW. Now that we're no longer in the dark, I've decided to embrace the Jolly Roger and make our website a little more piratical. There's nothing a pirate loves more than a bit of coin, and thankfully Squarespace has an amazing e-commerce system built right in. I especially love the custom merch integration with Printful, which we've started using to make our own loot. You can design and put anything you like on your shop, a customer can make a purchase, and then Printful will print and ship and take a cut for fulfillment. A pirate always takes their cut. Now, you're not a pirate if you haven't got a map or just really good seafaring skills and an astrolabe and a compass and stuff. Which is why the maps integration is super handy and cool. You can even change up the default look and style. Very Squarespacey. And as we all know, there's nothing a pirate loves more than a good bit of booty. And thanks to the amazing members only functionality, you can give your audience exactly that. Booty. No, but really, you can have a lot of non-spicy fun with members-only content, building content and community right on your own site. Coin, maps, and booty. What else could a ladder lassie need? If you're feeling particularly piratical and are keen for a bit of plunder, you can head to squarespace.com/Taliesin Evitel or use code Taliesin Evitel for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Look at me, Squarespace is your website provider now. Are you happy about that? Of course you are!
I really enjoyed learning it and grinding it and streaming it and talking about it. For me, it's a really cool game that was just enough like WoW to make me feel comfy and at home in a style of play that I might otherwise have not been comfortable with. And as a fan of the game, it has been brilliant having so much buzz and discourse, and you might think this one is silly, but it's how I feel. It's great to see how genuinely proud of this the team are. They have really enjoyed working on it and are clearly really into it, and that just makes me happy. That is good for the game, and it makes me like it more. Plunderstorm isn't going anywhere. It's built for streaming, and it appears to have a wide appeal beyond WoW already. I'm certain it'll be back for at least another season, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they removed the subscription requirement for it next time. And with all of that in mind, in terms of innovation and excitement and buzz and just making people excited about the game and the amount of fun I've had in it personally, I am going to have to declare Plunderstorm a success, in my opinion, although I am the judge and I do have a f***ing hammer, so obviously there are like a million improvements I could suggest. Like, how about being able to see your Renown progress on the character select screen to help you decide if you want to go in for another game or not? How about being able to choose and swap between who the pilot is in 2-player games? How about getting rid of the weird swirly effect on the pirate transmog cloak? I'm pretty sure no one wants that. Sorry if you want that, but I don't want that. I've got a f***ing hammer. And how about letting us know when the end of this event is planned for, so people who are having to push themselves to get to Renown 40 know exactly what they're dealing with. Muffinus has already been asking people online what other types of mode people would like to see in WoW, and I have to admit, that gets me a little nervous. Like, I don't need a WoW asset version of every other type of game I like to play popping up as a standalone mode every now and then. I'm probably overthinking this. I'm definitely overthinking this. Actually, you know what? I think it's okay just to enjoy a cool thing and celebrate that. So despite how I agree with all these criticisms, I have to be honest and say I really like Plunderstorm. I'm glad it exists. You can go free, my little game mode friend. No jail for you.
Avast!
Ahoy!
Welcome to the
Hey!
sofa section.
Welcome.
It would have been really, really good to talk about all of this and all the Pirate Patch and Plunderstorm and everything on the podcast last week, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would have been really nice if I was there and I didn't have a splitting migraine.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I was just so excited that my brain, it just imploded and I needed to sleep all day.
I think when Plunderstorm launched, you played like a whole 4 hours
Yeah,
of WoW
solid.
in a row.
I know.
Oh my goodness, our bodies just aren't built for that anymore.
Renown
right? So-
4, baby.
We did it duo and it was really good.
It was really fun.
Well, I've talked about Plunderstorm a lot. We're going to talk about it more in the next episode of the podcast on Thursday.
Yeah.
But just like, what are your opinions of it?
I think it's great fun. Like, I was not expecting it, but once I got into it, once I started playing it, it's like, you know, the learning curve, just it happens and you figure out how to do it. As a non-Battle Royale player, it took me a couple of tries and then I was like, okay, I get what's happening now. I'm enjoying myself and I can see how people fall into like a grind hole and just...
Yeah, damn those grind holes.
Yeah, you were gone for a couple days and you emerged.
I ground in that hole for... No, but that's the thing. I didn't even really do that. You know, I played it for probably about 10 hours on stream.
Yeah.
And I probably played it for as long off stream.
And you did it in that time.
And I did it in like 4 days, which just isn't that much, honestly.
So-
You look at it and you think, oh, 40 Renown, that's a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then your first one's a bit slower. They did buff the Renown. I am certain they will buff it again in the second half of the
absolutely.
event. I feel like most people are just passively going to do it. It wasn't until I got to 35. That's the first
gonna
time I
buff
actually
it.
like knuckled down and started grinding.
Gotcha.
Was when at the end was sort of very in sight sort of thing. The rest of the time it was just, yeah. What would you have rather instead of Plunderstorm, if anything? Like, did you have a sense of disappointment when it was announced?
Maybe a little bit. I think because it's time limited and because it's like not actually in WoW, right? It's a WoW patch, but it's not inside of World of Warcraft. Like, that put me off a little bit. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that, and I understand people who are disappointed with that as well. But as they've said before, they've been experimenting. They're trying new things. This is definitely an experiment. I'm curious to see how many like non-WoW players it will bring in. You know, even just for a period of time. Right?
I mean, my suspicion is basically none because of the $15 subscription that you have to pay to play it, right?
Exactly.
Like, who's going to pay $15 to play a battle royale that they've never played before?
Exactly.
You know, so it does definitely seem to be working anecdotally, bringing back players that had lapsed for whatever reason, and you know, often for quite a long time as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's good, right? That's a brilliant thing.
I think so, and it's quick and it's not always satisfying, but it is satisfying. It hits like all of the brain buttons that makes you log in and do it and do it and do it and do it.
Oh yeah, I think there's like a Mage Tower type about that thing of like, I've died, I'm done. You press the button, you're straight back in, sort of thing.
And it's funny, I literally downloaded Hearthstone onto my phone and I started playing it very briefly, and then this happened and I was like, I'm not playing a Hearthstone anymore because this satisfies that like really quick gameplay loop for me. I would say a success. I think it's really cool. I think it's really well done, and I'm excited to see what other stuff comes, even though it's not what I was expecting.
We're going to have a video about Pandemonium this week as well, which is coming in 10.2.7. Would you be happy for Pandemonium to be a similar thing to this, or do you want it to be something more based in the game?
I think Pandemonium has to be more based in the game.
Yeah.
I feel like they've kind of set up a precedent for stuff that happens outside of the game with this, and I don't know how I feel about that, but I don't think they're going to keep going down that route. I think this is literally just like every now and then a little fun thing's going to happen. Pandemonium feels like it's going to be in the game.
Sure.
And we've like Datamined assets and
Yeah,
stuff, right?
I hope so. Yeah,
pretty confident that that's going to be like within Azeroth.
Yeah, good week for WoW, and especially something else we're going to talk about probably more on the podcast. Finding out that WoW has like twice as many subscribers as we thought.
In theory, which is great.
Things are up, and it actually just a really exciting time to be involved with WoW. Alpha will be coming, we suspect, very soon.
Yeah.
And then season 4 in a few weeks as well.
Great.
And it's just incredibly exciting.
It's all happening
yeah,
at once.
Totally.
I
But
love it.
Seriously, let us know what you think about Plunderstorm in the comments below, because don't feel like we've read enough comments about Plunderstorm in the last couple of weeks. But generally, it's really nice to gauge as many different opinions of it as possible, because I think this is one of those things that more than anything in recent WoW history has kind of got a lot of different opinions around it. It's kind of split, and
It's divisive.
Yeah, it is divisive,
Marmite,
and it's that weird thing where I can totally see all of the criticisms, and I can agree with all the criticisms. And when they first announced it, I was like, that looks really cool. I kind of wish it was anything else. You know, I think that looks great. I just wish it had been anything else. And even it's so weird, even getting to Renown 40 and enjoying every second of it. I'm really getting into the game. Loved streaming it, like so much fun to stream.
It's a great stream game.
But I still kind of feel I'd rather it have been anything else. Like, even though I really, really enjoyed it.
I get it. I
it's
get
almost
what you're saying.
So I love Helldivers, right? If WoW just did Helldivers, but in WoW, and if it was as fun as Helldivers, obviously I'd love it. But I've got my other games that I play that aren't WoW.
For that.
And I want WoW to be WoW. You know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know. But that's not to take anything away from Plunderstorm, which I think is legit and awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us. Thank our patrons who give their actual real life money to make all of our work happen. Patrons, thank you. Because without you, there'd be a whole lot less Taliesin and Evitel. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is... That's the thing about Plunderstorm, right? You can't get away from your Battle.net name. There's no hiding. When I play, I'm Taliesin. When we play, we are Taliesin and Evitel.
And
there's no two ways about it.
Them?
It's like, totally. It's like, wait, two people whose Battle.net names are Taliesin and Evitel?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so there's no hiding. No hiding away from our real names this week.
Let's go, team! Let's go, team! It's plundering time!
No.